Vikings at Packers is the next game I want to go to here. Another divisional matchup. My matchup that matters, I'm going to go with the fireworks one. The one that I hope that we see quite a bit in this game. It is Jaire Alexander versus Justin Jefferson. When you look at Jaire Alexander's coverage snaps so far this season, 119 snaps, 16 targets, 10 catches allowed, 171 yards allowed, and a touchdown. He's allowed 7 catches for a first down, but as Jaire Alexander often is, he's sort of somebody who he'll give up the yards, but he'll also get his as well. He's already got 2 interceptions. He's got 1 forced incompletion, 74.9 PFF coverage grade that marks 12th amongst corners in the NFL. On the other side of things, the man that needs no introduction is Justin Jefferson, 22 targets, 14 catches, 273 yards. That is 4th in the NFL. He's got 3 receiving touchdowns, which is tied for 1st in the league. So this is big on big, if you will. This is strength on strength. This is your best guy versus my best guy. It's like an old school, like mythological or Roman battle where you go, all right, we don't have to have 10,000 guys fight 10,000 guys. You give me Achilles and you give me your best fighter, and let's just say, all right, whoever wins, the other people go home, and there you go. That feels like what it could be here with the Packers and the Vikings with Justin Jefferson and Jaire Alexander. I hope we get it quite a bit because it could be a fireworks show. And Jaire struggled, if I remember correctly, maybe not exactly the last matchup, but man, there was one matchup. I can't remember which one it was. Justin Jefferson just absolutely went off, and there are a couple of those that Jaire was in coverage on him. So you know that a guy like Alexander's got a lot of pride in this game. He's one of the best, and he's looking to get revenge here and play his best game that he has played yet against Justin Jefferson. So to me, that is the matchup that matters. But what about you? What do you got in this one?
Yeah, I guess you could say Justin Jefferson is Jaire Alexander's Achilles heel.
Oh, cool. So good. You love that. You absolutely love that. That was the alley. I was Dwayne Wade throwing it up. I'm putting the arms out. You're LeBron just grabbing it midair and slamming it home.
Then you're just, hey.
That kind of alley-oop. What do you got for this one?
No, and I think it's a really good call out too. Just one more note on the Packers secondary, given the fact that they have matched last season's interception total already. They have 7 interceptions this year, which is also given Xavier McKinney has paid dividends for them. It was very uncharacteristic for the Packers to go out and spend a bunch of money on a free agent safety, but they knew he was going to be an integral part to Jeff Hafley's defense, and that has proven to be true.
100%.
So outside of that, though, I'm also going to go a fireworks matchup, but we are anticipating that Jordan Love is going to be back for this game, where that's not for sure yet. But if he does indeed play, it is going to be a hell of a welcome back because he's going up against Brian Flores and Brian Flores' defensive scheme, which we've seen quarterback after quarterback this season be like, I don't know what I'm looking at. Are you kidding me right now? Because Brian Flores has just been incredible as far as the scheme he's devising and making his players do things that seemingly stretch the boundary of what you thought player roles could be. I mean, you have these guys dropping into coverage after he'll show cover 0 and then drop 4 or 5 guys back into coverage, and then somehow 2 of his guys get to the deep halves. I don't understand how he's doing it. I don't understand how Harrison Smith in particular is doing this, given the fact that Harrison Smith is basically my age, and I crack every time I get out of bed in the morning. I don't know how Harrison Smith is covering an entire deep half after being lined up on the line of scrimmage. It doesn't make any sense to me, but it makes sense to Brian Flores, and it certainly doesn't make sense to opposing quarterbacks who have to make these split-second decisions off of these pre-snap looks that change so drastically after the snap. So this is going to be very interesting. It's going to be like I said, a welcome back for Jordan Love. But at this point, I know Jordan Love only spent last season, that was his first season as a starter. Mm-hmm. He is considered a veteran in this league. He's paid like it. He is the top paid quarterback, tied for the top paid in the league. Not top, I guess, the Dak Prescott deal, whatever. But he's got $55 million to his name a year. He needs to kind of show that he has matured when it comes to the mental aspect of things, and he knows what he's looking at. And can the Packers figure out a way to beat Brian Flores? It's going to be very interesting if indeed Jordan Love does play, but I'm really looking forward to it. And I look forward to every week seeing what Brian Flores comes up with.
We're a couple of weeks away from Brian Flores crowding the line of scrimmage with players, and then Dallas Turner sprinting back to be the cover 1 safety on the play. And genuinely, we're like 4 weeks away from a rep like that happening. And the quarterback goes, there's no way he just did that, and then he gets speared in half because he's trying to figure out what the hell is going on. I am convinced that we're going to see him do something
Do you
crazy.
remember, and this is Todd Bowles now, because Todd Bowles has done crazy stuff like this forever.
The
Do you
Vita drop?
remember it was against the Packers in 2021 or yeah. And they lined Jordan Whitehead up at nose tackle.
No, I
You,
thought
you
you
don't
were.
remember this?
No, I
This is
thought you're.
like the thing that's burned into my brain forever. In that, like, there are some guys, there are some coordinators out there that will just do the absolute wackiest stuff, and it just for the hell of it to confuse guys. And I think Ndamukong Suh and Vita Vea were back at inside backer.
Yeah,
Like that
that.
was like it was the craziest formation I've ever seen in my entire life. And like, yeah, you're right. I'm not putting that past Brian Flores either, because he is like Todd Bowles 2.0 at this point.
Yeah, I thought you were going to bring up the Vita rep where I don't remember what team it was against, but he's standing up near the line of scrimmage, and then they drop him into like a hook curl zone, and it's just
Yes.
hilarious because 350-pound Vita Vea is like he's shuffling back, but he's also doing the thing that linebackers do where he's just like he's looking left and right, and it's just
I know. He's
hilarious
like
to see. Right? Yeah, he's got like the hands out like he's
the hands up
balanced.
and everything. It's like he's playing basketball.
It was
No,
funny.
I was almost ran over by Vita at practice. This is complete story time, but in the indoor facility, there's not at the Bucks. There's not a lot of room between the white lines and the wall. And I got backed up because and almost ran over by Vita because he was chasing Peyton Barber of all people, like
Mm,
in the backfield,
Bucks
all
legend.
the way to the sideline. And I was like, how? How did
I
that just
don't think
happen?
I don't think people who are on the sideline, I always feel bad for them, but then I'm also like, you're on the sideline unless it's your first game, like you got to get out of the way. Like you might think,
No,
no, they're
exactly.
not they're not close to me. They will be close to you in 1.5 seconds. So like you got to
I
get
thought
out
I
of the
was
way.
safe thinking that Vita Vea on the opposite side of the formation wouldn't come over to my side in the backfield, whatever, but I was not safe.
You know
So
who
I,
else
I
doesn't
got I
think
got out
that?
of the way.
You know who else doesn't think that? The opposing offensive coordinator. That's why Todd
Exactly.
Bowles is one step ahead. My plus factor in this one, so we wrap it up here. You touched on it a little bit, but it is how well Sam Darnold is throwing the deep ball versus sort of how advantageous it feels like the Packers have been when defending the deep ball. When you look at throws of 10 yards or more this season, Sam Darnold, 91.7 PFF grade, that's sixth best in the NFL, 379 yards, 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. On throws of 20 or more yards, he's 6 of 9, has 238 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, and he's got 4 big time throws. Anytime you're throwing it 20 or more yards down the field and you're completing it, there's a good chance it's going to be a big time throw. So that's why that checks out there. But the Panthers secondary, they are top 10 in receptions allowed of 10 or more yards, but they are also first in interceptions when the ball is thrown 10 or more yards down the
Yeah.
field. So kind of like what you were referencing about this team sort of being big game hunters themselves. Darnold's been very great at passing it deep down the field. The Packers have been very advantageous at taking it away. So that remains my plus factor to sort of piggyback off of what you said. But who's your plus factor in this one?
Mine's Josh Jacobs, because I think even if Jordan Love is back for the Packers, they are still going to try to lean on the run game just because it's been working. And it's not only just Josh Jacobs. I mean, they're running Jaden Reed out of the backfield. They're running Dontayvion Wicks out of the backfield. It's really fun to see what kind of Matt LaFleur kind of go back to 2018 Tennessee when he had Marcus Mariota. This was something that was pointed out by AQ Shipley actually on the McAfee show, which made a lot of sense in that with Malik Willis, he just kind of went back to, oh, how did I coach Marcus Mariota? What did I do? And you see a lot of the same concepts, but it's very, very run heavy. I don't foresee that changing even with Jordan Love in the lineup, because you want to kind of take some of the pressure off of him. You don't want to just make him dive in right away coming off of an injury while he's still dealing with it, quite frankly. Even if he's back in the lineup, he's still dealing with his MCL.
Right.
So, and it's been extraordinarily effective, Josh Jacobs in particular. But the Packers run offense, 7 rushes gaining 20 or more yards, that's first in the league. But the thing is, the Vikings defense, second best against explosive runs. So that's one of those things where this is, again, a good on good situation. And I do think the Packers aren't going to deviate too much from this run first scheme that we've seen over the last few weeks. So how effective can Josh Jacobs be against a really formidable run defense? And I think that that's kind of going to swing the tides as to who wins this game, given the fact that I just don't think you want to put all of that on Jordan Love's shoulders right away.